Yo, what's good? What's good, family? This is Deeper One. This is the Into Deep Show live for that ass on YouTube tonight. Yeah, some technical difficulty. My my software that I chose to use tonight decided to act up. I was supposed to be on at 9. I had to switch to my backup. So now I'm on my backup software to get the live going. I was going to put it off until tomorrow, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go and use the backup, trying to get my YouTube on and popping, and you just gotta push through the pain. You gotta push through the pain, and the show has to go on. So the show is going on, y'all. It's going on. Um, I have done a couple YouTube test live streams over the last few weeks. Making sure everything is right, making sure everything is on and popping, good, and ran ran into some difficulties, ran into some things that we had to work through to get it started. But we making do. We got the camera, we got the sound, we got everything. So trying to get started on the road to this YouTube money. So those of you who do not know who I am Deeper One. I am a certified master life coach and law of attraction coach, and I also do business and entrepreneurial consulting. I have been doing this, about 3-4 years. My background is in marketing, digital marketing. That's what I do. And I decided to come out and get this money due to the Rona. We all out here trying to get money. I was at Best Buy today because I had to get a little cord that I needed, and I went over to the little section where all like the camera tripods are. So they had all this like blogging shit, like YouTube shit section, so where like all the webcams are, tripods, mics, and all that shit. And they had signs up that said this shit is temporarily unavailable because they've been selling out of the shit. So I guess everybody on the same thing, out here trying to come up and get this YouTube money. And that's where I'm at. That's what we're trying to do. Yes. So go follow me. You can go follow me on Instagram. I am Deeper One. That is DEEP, the number 3R1. Follow me at that name on IG, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Patreon. My Patreon, just starting it out. That's where we get into the deeper level shit. What I talk about power dynamics. I do not consider myself a relationship expert, guru, coach. What I talk about is power, social, and male and female dynamics. Basically, teaching men and women how to leverage these dynamics for better outcomes in their personal life and in their relationships and in general. So that's what I do. So the topic tonight, what we're talking about is I posted a few memes over the last few days. I got some people in their feelings, but that's just what we do sometimes. We get people in their feelings. Sometimes you need to get in your feelings to make some changes. What we're talking about is why we be out here picking low quality men and low quality women, and why y'all out here that are picking low quality people, making it hard for the rest of us average, above average, and high quality people. Now, tonight I'm not going to really be talking much about high quality. That's been getting worn out. You know, that Kevin Samuels train of talking about high quality. It's actually kind of made it worse for some of us because Now you got a bunch of people out here feeling like, well, I'm high quality now, so I need to be out here looking for high quality people. And this is where people are making mistakes because we ain't all high quality. I was listening to a show on YouTube on Saturday night. They had a guest on. They, her name was Big Shirley. And Big Shirley had the nerve to set up and say Big Shirley was a 10. She said she was a 10. And see, this is one of our problems that we have out here is that, oh, thank y'all for coming through. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Yeah. So Big Shirley was like, yo, I'm a 10. You know what I'm saying? And I need to find Big Shirley's picture. Big Shirley was on Big Shirley was on Kevin Samuel's show. And then she got on Jessica X's show. And she was, I'm just gonna say, there's a lot of delusion in the conversation. A lot of, and so people like this, and those of you that are out here, lifting up your girls, telling them they're tens when they're not, you know, you dusty dudes out here gassing up, some of these very unattractive women, but you fuck with them because they got big butts. It's ruining it for the rest of us. Ruining it. And I'm gonna hit on why fellas, why y'all are ruining it for the rest of us, for us as good dudes. You see, what happens is you've got, some of these hood rat chicks. I mean, some of these dusties. I mean, you got the lowest, you know, Camquishas out here thinking that she is 10 status. You got the, I hate to be, I hate to go there, but some really, really unattractive people, women, you dudes are out here gassing up just so you can get it in. So you out here, you just you trying to tell these chicks whatever they want to hear so you can hit it. So now you got their heads all boosted up. They are all on top of the world, thinking they the bad bitch just because you don't have any dick discipline. You can't control yourself. So now you've got these below average women thinking they're skipping average. They're thinking they're above average. They're thinking they're high quality now. So now you got them out here just all in just telling you. And so you got people stepping to people that's out of their league. That's way, way out of their league. To the point that you've got some of these below average women out here thinking that they can get high quality. They can get above average. Hell, they can get average. But in reality, water seeks its own level. So they might be able to pull it off on a dude. It ain't gonna last long. But they're gonna end up getting what they're supposed to get, but they're gonna be out here talking about they can't find a good man. Well, yeah, because you're supposed to be getting at your level. And if you out here, you in the streets, you riding the carousel, what do you expect to get? You're going to get people that want to ride the carousel. You're not going to try to get the people that's not trying to ride every ride and trying to do all this fuck shit with you. You're not going to get that with dudes above your level. So now they're out here, they're mad at all the men and saying men ain't shit because they can't find this good man. When all the while that they are below average but they're trying to get above average. They're trying to get high quality, and they feel like they don't need to stay in their lane because some of you dusty ass dudes out here gassing them up, gassing them up. And then what that does is now you got the below average thinking they're supermodels. Then you take the average girl, you move up to them. Oh, now they think they Beyonce, Kelly Rowland. They think they're 10 pluses 11s. And it's just throwing the whole thing off kilter. Because now you've got sets of people who think they're better than they are. And then if you try to come and tell them any different, they're gonna be all on your shit. And that's the problem. That's the problem, fellas. And y'all need to stop doing this just to get something. First of all, it's dusty. It's desperate. It's dusty. It's not that hard to get decent women. But see, y'all want to get the lowest hanging fruit. Y'all want to take the road least path to resistance because you have no dick discipline. Because you're dusty. Because you don't have nothing to offer. So you're going for the lowest common denominator. You're going for the lowest hanging fruit. You're going for the girl that you know is going to accept that you live with your moms and you're 25 years old. You're going to go for the girl that doesn't care, that'll creep around with your dusty ass while you going back home living with your baby mom. You got girls that's willing to accept that you're 30 years old, you don't have a car, you don't have your own place, you don't have a bank account, you don't got a job. Some of y'all got chicks, but you're living with other chicks, and you got chicks supporting your whole lifestyle. And you're going out here and you are just sticking your dick in anything that'll let you. And unfortunately, especially if you got that swag, you got that gift of gab, they gonna let you and you out here just spreading your nasty ass shit around. Fellas, that's making it difficult for the rest of us dudes. That's making it real hard, real hard. And it's y'all just y'all gotta stop. You gotta stop because now you get the beta males mad, you got the simps mad, you got the red pill dudes mad, you got all of these dudes mad. They're walking around because they can't get the ones. What's funny about the beta males and the red tube dudes and the incels, the dudes that are really out here complaining, is you got them thinking, you got these dudes out here thinking that, oh well, yeah, bitches really ain't shit now because I can't even get the lowest barrel of the barrel chick. Like I can't get nobody. I'm just gonna now be stuck in the basement, playing Xbox in one hand with my lotion and toilet paper in next. Like we got a whole bunch of non-unhappy people because you got no dick discipline. And fellas, you don't realize is that you are helping bring down a whole sex because we got this movement right now with we got the feminists mad. Listen, I was listening to before the show started tonight. I was watching the YouTube. Shout out to Jessica X on YouTube. Puts out a great show. New YouTuber. She out here killing it. Supporting the fellas, the movement, and I appreciate it. But she talks a lot about like a lot of what's going on right now, like in the YouTube sphere, the manosphere, is a lot of this stuff talking about hate for men. And right now, that hate for men is a lot is to do is rooted in. You got some creators out here, some female creators out here that have channels where, they really talk about hating on black men, and you got, ones out here that's got general hate for men and what have you. And especially black men, you're giving us a bad name. You're giving us a bad reputation when you're out here not having discipline. When you're out here doing the most with nothing. You're out here requesting women to be submissive to you when you're supposed to be the table. She's supposed to bring something to you, but you ain't got a table. Because your table at your mama's house, or your table's at your baby mama's house, and you don't got nothing. And you out here, you living in somebody else's house. You ain't on the lease, you ain't on the deed, you ain't nothing, but you out here, you're trying to run shit. But then you out here, you're trying to maintain, this girl, that girl. You're hoeing out, you're doing all this bullshit. And yet, you're out here hurting these women. And then, when they catch wind and they have you, your PS4, PS5, and your black garbage bag full of clothes out the door, you know what I'm saying? Then, how you doing, Christina? Thanks for coming through. You got your shit out the door. So now they hating us. They hating us because they done fooled around with your ass for too damn long. You ain't brought nothing to the table, probably but some dick and some weed. And she most likely stayed mostly for the dick. And you ain't done shit for it. So now, when the good dudes, when we come through, and we got a lot to offer, and we got standards, they have a problem because we have standards. And then it's like, well, the audacity of you motherfuckers to have standards. How y'all gonna have standards? Well, sis, I mean, it's not my fault you ain't fuck with a dude that's ever had standards. That's not. So we all supposed to not have standards because the dudes you've been messing with don't have standards. That's not really how this works. And this is a disservice, fellas, that you're doing out here to the rest of us. Because then I get looked down upon, and I'm like, hey, listen, yo, like, you gotta qualify for a few things here. You gotta qualify. And if you're not qualifying, I can't roll with you. And that really kind of fucks a lot of people up when you can't roll because you don't qualify. So, fellas, have some dick discipline. Don't stick it anywhere that will spread their legs for you. You're doing a disservice to the rest of the bros. Major disservice. And I ain't with it. I'm too old for this. I'm too old for this. And then I have to come through and pull some girl's head out of the sky and be like, whoa, you ain't really got what I need. You need to move down back to your level, back to what you've been used to dealing with. For those of y'all that are watching me on Instagram, I am live on YouTube. I'm simulcasting. I'm only going to be live on Instagram for a little bit longer, but you can catch me on YouTube at Deeper One. So just go to Deeper One, like you see my name without the period, and go check me on YouTube. But thank you for coming through for right now. Let's continue. Now, as I was saying, fellas, you need this dick discipline. You need it. And the problem is you don't have enough male role models, enough male structure out here to be teaching you to control where you stick your dick. Control it. Because you're letting the vajayjay control your life, have a hold on you, and it can even cause you to lose more than what you came in with. Now, you dusties, probably not. I don't know how much more you can lose than your black garbage bag full of clothes and your PS4 or your Xbox. Maybe losing one of them two might be, the biggest hardship that you probably take in your life. Could be. So maybe that's why you feel like you might not have nothing to lose. But in the end, we all losing if you as men keep putting us in positions where we have to defend dusty behavior. It is what it is. Now, ladies, I'm coming for you next. I'm probably gonna spend more time on you than I'm gonna spend time on fellas. I'm coming for you. So, fellas, you probably wondering, well, some of you already know, but you're gonna need to hear it again anyway. What do you need to be doing out here to solve this problem? To help us solve this problem of these women out here playing these games with us, out here thinking that they deserve better than where they're at because you are not requiring them as women to level up, which you can't do because you're dusty. So you two actually probably right where you're supposed to be. But now you done got her head all big. She thinks she's supposed to be bigger than you. And we can't have that. We're not having that anymore. We're putting our foot down. Because and maybe it's good for you though. Maybe it's good for you because then maybe it's, we sending them back. We recycling them. We're sending them back to you because we can't do anything with it. But then you got the nerve to turn around and think your dusty ass deserves above average, high quality women. And see, I be telling these women, me and a bunch of other men out here be telling you out here, one of the main ways you're gassing these women up that you shouldn't be doing is telling them they're great because, they've got a degree, they've got a good job. Ladies, only dusty dudes care about your degrees and what you do for a living. Let me say it again. Only dusty dudes care about your degrees and what you do for a living. Because to them, they see you as a come up. Oh, well, shit, she got 2 bachelor's degrees, a master, a JD, and a PhD. Oh, shit. Bruh, I'm coming up. I got sugar mama. She gonna be taking care of it. Oh, she nurse? Oh, nurse practitioner? Doctor? Oh, shit. I'm gonna be living the life, my dude. Them dudes care about that shit. Them dudes coming over to your house with their garbage bag of clothes and their Xbox and PlayStation, thinking they coming up because you got a good job and you got degrees. So you done got their head big. Then you've got other women telling them, "Oh, hey, girl, yeah, girl power, girl. Yes, you independent. Yes, go get them degrees, girl. Go get that job. Go do all that, girl. Yeah, queen." That's not helping. That is not helping nobody. So then we're doing double damage from both sides. Let me tell you, it is a turnoff. It is an absolute turnoff when I meet a girl and what she tries to sell to me about her is her degree and what she does for a living. I'm not impressed. I don't care. And I've dated all kinds of women from all walks of life, from various different positions of life, doctors, lawyers, executives, you name it, I've dated. And what they are in life is their profession. I don't care about. Because at the end of the day, No matter what people do for a living, all right, they can still be crazy as hell. They can still be whatever, whatever. Their degree or what they do for a living doesn't make them anything special. Because at the end of the day, crazy knows no occupation. Crazy knows no education level. They could be from a high school graduate to a PhD. They can have every level of degree there is. And that does not mean that they don't have the capability of being a terrible person or crazy. Or, that don't mean they're gonna be good in bed. That don't mean they're gonna be fine as hell. It doesn't mean any of it. I'm looking for what it is that you can bring to my program and what I'm doing and how you can contribute to what I got going on in order to be able to be the man that you need me to be. So if you're out here and you've got your degrees that you done racked up student loans for, because God knows you're gonna have student loan debt. I got it too. We all got it. And you're gonna want to come in and you're gonna want to be, a housewife, because you'd be surprised at how many of women that have high level degrees, they come on these shows on YouTube and they be telling these dudes, oh yeah, I want a six-figure dude, and they'll ask, oh, do you want to pay significant bills in your life? And they'll say no. They just want to be stay-at-home mom and raise babies. And then the question is, well, who's gonna pay them student loans while you at home raising them babies? And they're like, what? So you done spent 8 years in school to get a PhD, only to then decide after you get your degree that now you want to stay at home and raise babies? Who in the hell gonna pay them student loans? That's like you got it all backwards. And so, fellas, you dudes that are doing things that are boosting helping boost the ego of some of these ladies out here, you're doing a disservice to everybody. You're doing a disservice. And it's time that y'all stop. It's time that you start developing some standards about yourself so we can keep people where they are supposed to be. So they're supposed to stay in their lane and do what they need to do in their lane and not try to jump until they've made some significant improvements that would allow them to switch lanes. It's time. We got to stop. We got to stop. How you gonna stop it? Unless you got to get your game up. You got to get your game up. You got to be doing what you need to do for yourself. There are too many people out here that are not taking advantage of things that they should be taking advantage of, but they're not because they're lazy and they don't work. There's too much. It's too much. Too many of you not doing nothing. Too many of you just trying to come up, trying to get the quick money, trying to rock your white tee and your jeans with your fake ass Gucci belt and Gucci slides. You're only trying to make short money. You don't have a car. If you do got a car, the rims cost more than the car. You're out here, you only carry cash, you don't got a bank account. You're out here doing these things and you're attracting these women. And ladies, I'm gonna get to you on your attraction to these dudes. Okay. Because there's a lot of you out here that's attracted to these dudes. And then these dudes fuck your world up. And you let them do it 2, 3, 4 times over. And then when you're finally done, when you're ready to look for a real one, and the real ones come through with their standards, you can't handle it. Fellas, get it together. You got to get it together. Now, ladies, it's your turn. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Woo! I got, listen, I'm going to cook y'all tonight. This. I'm going to cook you because you need to be cooked on this. Because why you need to be cooked more than anybody? Even more than the dudes, you got to be cooked because y'all are the ones that are complaining the loudest. The loudest. You see, these incels out here, these dudes that are out here complaining, there ain't really a lot of them. There's not a lot of them. You would have to really go hard to find an incel and find where they are complaining. You'd have to look real hard. But you ain't gotta look hard for the ladies out here that's complaining about the men. You ain't gotta look hard at all. It's real easy. It's real easy. It's everywhere. And so with that, you've got everywhere. I could tell you, to be honest with y'all, at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day, I find somebody on the internet somewhere complaining about men. It's very easy, very easy. Anyway, within earshot at any point in time, there's somebody out here complaining about me, calling us dusties at some point in the day, and saying all of us are. But there's not a lot of men out here that are complaining about the women. Now, let's figure out. Here's where things are going to get a little bit harder because, ladies, I'm requiring you at this point to accept the level of accountability and responsibility for the men that you've chosen today. I mean, it's time. It's time to take some accountability for that. See, you can't complain about Earl and Ray Ray, that Earl and Ray Ray done up and left you a single mother, when most likely you saw all the flags about Earl and Ray Ray as to why Earl and Ray Ray shouldn't be your baby daddy. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. We've seen the signs. You saw when I coach people, and understand y'all, like I said, I am a master life coach. If you need a session, go to my website, deeperone.com, and you can book a session. Now, when someone tells me a story about a bestie they with, and they want some advice, some counsel, I'm going to need the backstory. I'm going to need everything, that is relevant to the story that's going to allow me to give you the best counsel or advice that I can on how to proceed with whatever your question is. So I let them tell the backstory. As we get through the backstory, within the first minute, usually within the first 30 seconds, I can count at least 2 red flags about the dude that they're telling me about. And literally, I will have somebody on the line sometimes that have been with a dude 2, 3 years, and they're asking me, well, do you think this or do you think that? Now, I don't say this verbally, but in my mind, I'm thinking, well, how does she not know within 2 to 3 years of who she's dating, and how he thinks and how he moves and what that tells her? How does she not know Now I'm glad she's here asking me because it's keeping my bills paid, and I'm grateful for that. But how does she not know? And this is where I'm asking you ladies to really look into being more accountable and responsible for who you're laying up with and who you are allowing to lay up with you. Now, give you case in point, I can't exactly bring it up on my screen because of the setup that I have right now. But let me see. Let me see. So I'm going to try, and it's not going to. You go to my page, deeper one. So those of you that are on my backup play page, you need to go to my main page if you can. Those of you that got Androids and you can do, multi-window, you're blessed. You can go look. But most of you might have seen this meme, and it's the meme with the dude and the girl, and there's so many different scenarios of it where one says one and somebody says something else, and then let me see if I can pick up my phone. Okay, no, I don't have my other phone, but this is the one I'm talking about, and it says, "I make $20 an hour." Then she says, "You're broke. You can't afford me." Then on the bottom, it says, "I love you, babe," and she's looking at her dude in jail. So she turning down the dude, saying the dude that makes $20 an hour can't afford her, and he's broke and dusty, but she loves the dude that's in jail. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And so you would be really surprised at how often this goes on. How often the situation is prevalent. And what happens is when women get with guys like this, there's going to be many times where he gonna get out of jail. He might get out of jail and hold her down. Like every situation ain't gonna be no Gucci. It ain't gonna be Gucci man. It ain't gonna be, you know, he in jail. He gives her $2 million. She turns it into 6 million, and then they get married. That's not what happened with the Dusties. That's not what happens with Earl and Ray Ray and Pookie when they get out of jail. These are not Gucci Mane situations. So she gonna ride. She gonna ride for Jailbird. She gonna ride for him. She gonna hold him down. She gonna put money in his books. She gonna do all that. Meanwhile, he's not financing her lifestyle. He's not giving her anything. She's coming in and putting money in his books. She coming in and supporting him, but all the while she turned down a dude to say he make $20 an hour, saying that she can't afford him or he can't afford her. Again, make it make sense. And these are the kind of men that some of the women that are upset the most and not about being able to find a good man are with. Being her own Ray Ray. Now, understand that the $20 an hour dude is the dude that she's going to turn down in her 20s. But she's going to be checking for the $20 an hour dude when she's in her mid 30s and she's laid up with Pookie, Earl, and Ray Ray's kids as a single mother. Let's just be honest. This situation happens a lot. Now, some of the ladies are going to deny it and think that it doesn't, but I can point you through to quite a few dudes that's like, hell yeah, that's the way it go down. Because that's the way it be going down. So, ladies, you put yourselves in these kind of situations very often. And then when Pookie get out of jail, you think, oh well, I'm a build like this is a build a bear. You trying to build a man. You gonna make Pookie a man. You gonna build Pookie. You gonna get Pookie to get a job and do all the things that you're gonna want him to do. And many of you that are trying to do that find out that you can't. And the slim chance that you do, when Pookie come up, Pookie out, Pookie done. Pookie gonna go leave you for some fine looking chick. He might go swirl, but he out of there once you done the work for him. When you done got him where he needs to be, then you're back upset with the whole male species because you done played Build-A-Bear so many times and it's failed you. And you've failed at using discernment to pick the proper man in your life and for you. Then when men like us come along that's got our heads together, you want to have us jump through hoops because of the kind of dudes that you messed with prior. Some dudes will do it. Some dudes will do it because, like I said, a lot of dudes don't have a lot of dick discipline out here and everything. But you're gonna find some dudes that don't. You're gonna find some dudes that are gonna be like, "Oh no, I ain't doing that. I'm not playing that. You got me fucked up." I'm one of those dudes. I'm not having that. A lot of you end up being afraid to have a man, the man that you say you want, because low key that the man that you say you want is going to challenge you, and you don't want to be challenged. You want to run shit because the system has said, girl, you queen, you're supposed to be in control of your life. You're supposed to be in control of everything. And I dare not say the word submissive and be submissive. Now I get it. If you choosing Pookie Earl and Ray Ray, how you gonna be submissive to Pookie Earl and Ray Ray when they're supposed to be the table, but their tables all busted up, and they expect you to bring something to a busted ass table. I get that, but why put yourself in a position to be with something like that anyway? Why date down? Why are you dating down? And what that is saying that you need to take a look at yourself to figure out, why are you putting up with the Pookies, the Earls, the Ray Rays? Why are you dealing with that? And to be honest with you, a lot of it has to do with some of the inner struggles that you have with yourself, some of your own demons that you're battling, and you haven't placed yourself in a high regard. So you are dating these dudes. Now, some of you will try to mask that with overconfidence. And you're trying to tell yourself, oh, I'm a bad bitch, I'm this and that and the other. But who you date is showing. Honestly, who you date really shows. There's two things that can really help you figure a person out: how they take care of themselves and who they date. Because what you look like on the outside tells a very good story about how you feel about yourself on the inside, and who you date tells you how you feel about yourself. And if you are out here dating Pookies and Earls and Ray Rays and no good dusty ass dudes, that tells me how you feel about yourself. And a lot of women don't understand that men figure this out. If you ain't ever had a dude ask you about an ex, about your exes, curious about your exes, then you got a dude that don't really give a fuck about you. Because a dude that's about anything, they gonna want to know what kind of dudes, at least the last 3 dudes that you dated, we want to know about. We got questions about. We want to know. We want to know what he looked like. We want to know if he had money. We want to know how he treated you. We want to know what kind of dude he is. Because those things are going to tell us what kind of person you like and the kind of person you are. And a lot of people don't get this. It tells us everything we need to know about you and how you feel about yourself. So we checking. We checking for it. We checking to see, oh shit, maybe she's dealing with a few issues. You might be asking issues like what? Deeper? One? I'm gonna tell you, issues like fear of abandonment, issue of is you like to take the path of least resistance, you like the easy road, you like to be the rescuer, you like to have a little boost of your self-esteem. It gives you a little self-esteem boost. When you date down, you can feel better because you're looking down upon somebody, because you will feel that you're better. So you got a little self-esteem boost by dating that dusty ass Earl. So you feeling yourself, especially because Earl's gonna be gassing you up. And like I said earlier in the live, is that if Earl cares about what you do for a living, if Earl cares about your degrees, Earl is looking for the come up. And he might even need you for something, and that's gonna boost your self-esteem. Or lastly, codependence. You've become codependent on Earl or Pookie or Ray Ray, and y'all have trauma bonded because these dudes got trauma. These dusty dudes out here that y'all be putting up with, that you be letting come through with their garbage bag of clothes and they Xbox and PS4, they got traumas. So y'all codependent, and one of the biggest codependent things that two people really, really share is trauma bond. You put this trauma bond together, and you will have people that will be together for a long ass time that should not be together. That they got no business being together, let alone having kids together. And they're in 2, 3, 4 year relationships, just laying up with one another. All kinds of trauma, all kinds of chaos and confusion and dishonesty. I mean, all of that. And you're just putting up with all of it. And one of the biggest, and I'm just gonna say it straight, because I'm about this tough love, because I like my deeper ones. I love y'all. You know, those of you that are watching now, those of you that will be watching later on the replay, is that you got to be honest with yourself. You're not doing the work that you need to do for yourself. That's a lot of what this is. This is a major reason why a lot of you end up dating down, because you are not putting in the work for yourself. Because it's easy. It is much easier to fix somebody else than it is to fix yourself. Because when you fix somebody else, you don't got to take a look in the mirror, although you really should be taking a look in the mirror because, again, that's telling us how you really feel about yourself. But again, I digress. It's a lot easier to look at Earl and be like, you know what? I can put Earl in some gear. I can help Earl get a job. I can help Earl get a car. Them are actually easy things to do. There ain't no hard work. There ain't no real hard work in doing that. But it's hard work into looking in that mirror. It's hard work to come into the realizations. That's all hard ass work. And there's a lot of you that would rather do that easy work than looking in that mirror, than facing them demons, that's getting that ass in therapy. It's hell. It's even hard for some of you to even look to the Lord and ask for help. So you date down on these dudes. And I'm gonna say a lot of dating down. I'm gonna say dating down is mostly a woman issue. It's mostly an issue that women run into with their dating. There's far fewer men that date down than there are women, especially especially in the black community. There's far fewer women, men. Way more women date down and date dusty dudes than than men dating dusty all day long, all day. The dudes that are dating down, they're just as dusty as the women date. The women are just as dusty as they're dating, and that's what I talked about in the beginning of now all these boosted self-esteems and everybody thinking that they're tens and everybody thinking that they're high quality and they're nowhere near it. You see, what I see a lot of is you got to look at people at what they got on paper. You really have to. You got to see what they have on paper. And what I see out here is you got a lot of people that have less to offer on paper, whether it's to their job, social status, you know, background, other factors. It gives you a false sense of security believing that that person won't leave you because you think that they're not going to find a better person. And that's from the standpoint of financial success, looks, status, etc. But what do you find out, ladies? What do you find out? What do you find out from these dusty ass dudes? You find out that a good majority of the time they got another chick. You out here believing that you got him on lock because you got him a place to live. He laying up with you. You got him on lock because you bought him a car. You got him on lock, but you put a little money in his pocket. You got him on lock because you got his babies. But do you ever really have him on lock though? Some of them make you think you do, but you don't. And this is where a little bit of that. This is where some of you ladies, your head is a little bit too big because you think you got a dude on lock because he's got less than you or he ain't shit. And what you're finding out that there's dusties out here that will take your dusty from you. Some of these other chicks will have less than you and will still take your man. But you walking around thinking that, nah, you the baddest bitch. She can't take your man. And she takes Earl. She fucking Earl on the side. Earl driving your car to her house every day while you at work. And you at work thinking that you got Earl. Now, eventually, this dudes ain't smart and cheap. You gonna find out. You gonna figure it out. Then you start fucking with Earl. Then you date Pookie. Pookie do the same shit. Ray Ray. Ray Ray do the same shit. So now you got 3 dudes in a row that done fucked your world up. And now you are mad as hell. You're mad as hell at dudes, and you are ready to kill them up because you done got fucked over. You got fucked over 2-3 times over. And now all men ain't shit. And the thing is that could have been avoided if you wasn't fucking with these dudes, these dusties, because either you had that fear of abandonment, it was easy, and you was trying to take the easy road. You wanted to be the rescuer, Miss Build-A-Bear. You wanted the self-esteem boost, or you're codependent. Got codependent because you was out here trauma bonding with somebody. And you were using trauma bonding as a way of therapy, and you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have been. Wow, ain't it? And I don't see enough. I don't see enough women taking responsibility for these choices, taking enough accountability for these choices. Not enough of it. So you can't walk around continuing to be upset that you're getting fucked over by these men if you keep choosing the wrong ones. That's making it hard, not only for the good men out here, but for the other women too. Because one of the problems that we have today is, ladies, you like listening to your female friends, family, peers a little bit too much. And they are out here fucking up the game for you. Fucking up the game for you. Now, if you ain't listened to my podcast, go check out my podcast, The In Too Deep Show, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I have an episode in there where I talk about you shouldn't listen to. Let me give you the exact episode. A lot of you need to go and listen to this. You need to go listen to it. All right. It is episode 2, season 2, episode 2. The name of the episode is Stop Listening to Other Women Tell You What Men Want. You need to stop listening to your female friends. You need to stop listening to women tell you about men, because too many of you are clueless, and you need to be listening to men, us tell you about men. Tell you what we want, tell you what we need, tell you what we like. That will make your dating life a lot easier, and it will help you avoid choosing dusty dudes. So how's it working for you so far? Now, for the most part, you need to stop listening to these women. But there are 2 men you need to stop listening to as well. You need to stop listening to Steve Harvey, and you need to stop listening to Derek Jackson. Now, those of you that listen to any of these two, I want you to go look at the women that listen to these. And I want you to go look and do some research and see how well any of the advice that these two dudes have given that have actually worked. They don't. It doesn't work on the men that you're not complaining about. Their advice works on the dudes that you've been continuously having issues with. They don't work on the men that you actually want, that you're actually trying to get. It only works on the dusties. Now, if you want to continue being in training on how to find you the best dusty you can find, then you can continue listening to that terrible advice that you're getting. But part of you has to just take the step and decide that you are ready and willing to do the work that you need to do to obtain the kind of man that you want, especially if you want a man of quality, a man that's at least average and above. Because see, there's nothing wrong with average men, because there's nothing wrong with average women. I mean, there shouldn't be. You've been dating below average this long, so it wouldn't kill you to date average. But average men have standards too. Just because a man's average doesn't mean he doesn't have standards, that he doesn't have wants, that he doesn't needs, that he doesn't have deal breakers, because he's got them too. And a lot of you that don't want an average dude that wants the above average can't even meet the standard of the average man. See, if you're used to dating dusties, then that's where you need to be, dating dusties, until you are able to do the work to put you in the lane of the kind of man that you want. So if you're out here being below average, you're most likely going to date below average. You would have to. Most average or above average people aren't going to date down if they got their head right, if they're not codependent, if they don't need a self-esteem boost, if they don't want to play the rescuer, if they don't want to take the easy road because they know the easier road never pays, if they don't have the fear of abandonment. These are the kind of people that you need to be looking for. You need to be looking for people that got their head twisted on straight. People, when somebody tells me they ain't ever been to therapy, if I say, hey, you've been to therapy when I first meet, if you ain't been to therapy, that's red flag for me. Now, some dudes are going to say the opposite. Some dudes are going to be like, oh, she said she's going to therapy, that means she's crazy. Now, I don't believe that does not mean you're crazy if you're going to therapy. Now, I'm going to ask what you're going to therapy for to determine if that is true or not. You going just for some depression, you going to get some healing from childhood trauma or relationship trauma. I can actually deal with that, because that's actually regular shit, and that's shit that most people should really be going to therapy. Most people should really be going to therapy to deal with anyway, because I believe we all have something from our past that's a demon that's unresolved that we need to get on top of. But if you're going to therapy for shit like schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, a few of the more extensive, harder things, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to probably take a harder look at the decision to date that person. But if you're not in therapy and you think you have all the answers and all your shit together, but I can blatantly see the red flags, the box of red flags that are at your feet, then I'm going to think a little bit harder of whether you're dateable. And ladies, you need to do the same. But you can only be in a position to do this is if you have done your work already or you are in process. You can't be one of these people that think you got your shit together and you ain't ever done any work on yourself internally. You have not done any shadow work. You have not talked to the Lord. You have not been in the therapist's office. If you ain't done none of those things, you are not in the position. You're just not, because those things are going to manifest themselves at some point in a relationship. And it's not about if, it's about when. You have to set yourself up for success in dating. It's not the other sex's job to do that. You need to be able to have a sensible amount of discernment to know who's in front of you, to know how to pick the right person, how to see through the bullshit, how to see through lies, how to read good character, how to tell if somebody's got good integrity. A lot of you are not good at any of that. Not any of it. You're just looking at the package. You're just looking at the surface. And with some of you, that's got you blinded so much, you can't see something that is blatantly in front of you that's not correct, that you shouldn't be dealing with. But you choose to deal with it anyway, and it gets your life all fucked up. And again, it's back to taking accountability and responsibility for that. And that's what you need to do. I already told the fellas what they need to do. That's what you need to do to have a better choice in men and better success with men. You got to get right first. There's too many people walking around thinking every issue that's in a relationship with a man is the man's fault. And that's hardly the case. It's hardly the case. And then until you do right by yourself, you're going to continue to pick low quality people. And if you're continuing to pick low quality people, you might be right where you're supposed to be. You might be right, low quality, just like the people that you keep picking. And I know that shit hard because I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. I'm very, very selective about who I choose. I look at everything with them. I'm looking for red flags. I'm checking for things that may appear that may, to me, trigger this person may have a struggle with mental health or self-esteem or self-worth or self-value, and has me taking a moment to question whether I want to take that on, whether I want to tackle that. You got to decide. You first have to be ready, because you can't take on somebody else's shit when you got your own shit. Because that's just chaos waiting to happen right there. That's destruction waiting to happen right there. You got to have your own shit together first before you can try to take on somebody else. It's time to level up. And I know some of you be watching some of these level up channels on YouTube, and a lot of them are trying to tell you things to level up everything, but level your own mental, emotional health up. That's where it starts. That's ground zero right there. Level up your emotional and your mental health. Level up things in your life that need work. You got to level up that way. You can do the other things before you do those, but it'll all come full circle. It always comes full circle, y'all. You may think you can bypass it for a little bit, but it all comes back. And if you don't tackle that while you're single, it is going to attack you when you're in a relationship. And some of you, when it does, then you deflect it onto the other person. And then when the relationship crumbles, it's always somebody else's fault but your own. And it's time to stop that. It's time to be accountable. It's time to be responsible for you, because you're going to be the common denominator in all your relationships. And you need to guarantee that you're straight. And if you keep having bad relationships thinking you're straight, you're probably not straight in some way. And that might be whether you ain't right in your mind or you are still dealing with some shit internally that still has you choosing people that are not good for you. Either way, that's you. Because you can control you. You can't control them or what they do or whatever, but you can control you and you can make sure you're straight. Too many of you think you're straight, you ain't straight at all. And the best way to figure out if you're straight is get your ass in therapy or get yourself a coach. If you don't have access to a therapist, everybody got access to a coach. You don't need no doctor note, you don't need no insurance. At the very least, get yourself a coach. And if you need a coach, come here, let me coach you. Go to Deeper One. You look down on the bottom of the screen, the ticker right here, you can see. You can go to my website. You can go there and book a session. You know, you just need to rap about some shit. You need to, I got you. I mean, it's going to cost you, but I got you. Got you. We all need some type of mentor. We all need some type of guidance. We all need some type of counseling. Something. Too many of you are out here trying to figure it out yourself. And my thing is, if you could have figured it out yourself, you would have been figured it out. Sometimes you need somebody else there to show you things that you cannot see. That is step one for you to avoid dating low quality people and making it harder for the rest of us. That's what's up. It's getting too hard out here. We got too many 10s out here that are 6s at best. And before Kevin Samuels said the word above average, I used to say all the time, there are too many people out here that think they're 10s and they're 6s at best, and they need their heads blown straight out the sky, right out the cloud. They are not humble. They think they're the baddest. And social media really, really, really helps in that attitude. Social media got some of you out here thinking that you're models. Got you thinking that you're supermodel because you don't place a filter on your picture. But when you get up and you look in the mirror every morning, what's on that filter is what's on your face. That's the face you have to look at in the mirror every morning, not that filter face you put on your picture. And that's the actual face you should be trying to improve upon. Not that filter face. But that's it, y'all. I'm wrapping it up. I done talked a good hour, 30 minutes for y'all. I will be doing lives. I'm going to be doing more lives and trying to build this YouTube game up. I would love if y'all like and subscribe. share the video, share my channel, suggest people to come. I would appreciate that, y'all. And again, as you see on the ticker, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, IG, Facebook, Deeper One. Again, like and subscribe, engage with me, help your boy out. Hit the Cash App if you can, especially those of you that I've given you good free advice on that you vouched that was good for you. I appreciate it. You can book a session if you need a session at deeperone.com. But that is it. This is Deeper One. This is the Into Deep YouTube live stream. I am out.